fam.news.
How did she go from the star of TLC's extreme couponing to the CEO of Big Mattress Outlet? Kelly Charles is here to tell the amazing story about becoming the queen of clipping and how that side hustle funded her mattress retail business. Buckle up, because the Fam podcast starts right now.
1894, Max Englander hand-built the first Englander mattress. Today, Englander mattresses are still bench-made right here in the USA. Proven materials, expertly layered, and every stitch triple-checked. All for you. Englander, better sleep by design.
Hey, are you a mattress retailer looking to supercharge your business? Introducing Podium, your secret weapon. I use it, I'm a huge fan of it, and with Podium's AI-powered lead conversion, you can engage with customers in seconds via text, making it feel like they're talking to a friend. But hey, that's just the beginning. Podium offers texting, payments, reviews, website chat, and more, all in one place. You've got to be the most responsive retailer to help customers solve those sleep problems in the moment. Harness the power of Podium today and start growing your business. Visit podium.com right now to learn more.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the betting business get even better.
Welcome to the FAM podcast. One of my favorite friends, member of the FAM, member of the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind, a Dream Camp alumni, Sleep Summit. She's been there. Kelly Charles, welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. What a privilege. I'm so excited to be here.
I think that could have been like one of the greatest, we call it a tease, that opening part at the beginning of the show. Because I remember meeting you and Joe for the very first time in the Englander showroom. It's been a few years ago. And you guys happened to come in, and we ended up talking for about an hour and a half. And during the course of that conversation, I got to hear a little bit of your story. Mm-hmm. And I found out during that time we had together that you had been on TV, on a TV show on TLC called Extreme Couponing. And you were famous in the couponing world, and you're known as Coupon Kelly. Am I getting it right so far?
Yeah, you got it right so far. Yeah, claim to fame on the side hustle with the couponing. I was working at Simmons Bedding Company at the time, but yeah, no, times were tough, and it was costing an arm and a leg to put fuel in the tank, and we had 3 teenagers at home, and so I was busting out the coupons and doing what my mama taught me, and just trying to save every way that I could, and who knew what kind of road that would take me down eventually.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit, because lots of families, moms, dads, kids clipping coupons, trying to save some money at the store. How did that go from something you were doing to save money to being on TV? Did people find out about you? Were you doing internet forums? Like, how did that connect the dots there?
So I love to write, and I was trying to write a book, and a good friend of mine who's an author said the way to do that is to just write every day. Because if you'll just commit to writing a sentence a day, then a sentence can turn into a paragraph, and then, just the act of writing every day keeps you in that mindset. So I gave myself an obligation by starting a blog. And at the time I was like, well, what do I know something about? What am I an expert about that people might actually read? And couponing was very relevant at the time. The show wasn't on yet. The extreme couponing was not a thing yet. But couponing itself was. So that's the blog I started, was like working mom coupons and how to do it from a working mother standpoint. And, so I was just on there blogging, basically, not trying to get any followers, not trying to make a business out of it, just trying to keep myself focused on writing because I wanted to write a book. And in the meantime, the pilot of Extreme Couponing aired. Now, it's just a pilot. So as far as we knew, it was just one show. We didn't even know that there was a possibility that there would be other episodes filmed. We just watched this one show, my husband and I, and Joe looked at me and he was like, you could do that. So the guy on the show, I don't remember. Nathan was his name. I don't remember what he was, like $800 or $900, and he got it down to less than 100 or something like that. I may have, my details wrong, but either way, I was like, that sounds kind of fun. Yeah, I think I could do that. So I had set out to do a shopping trip to that scale just to prove that I could. And then meanwhile, I really don't remember how I heard about it, but somebody told me that they were accepting applications to appear on the show. So I sent in like a 30-second video of myself on camera just talking about what I do. And I got a call and they're like, invited me to be on the show. And so, meticulous nature that I have and doing everything on spreadsheets, the crew comes and they're there for like 2 days at the house filming, 10, 12 hours a day to get this 12-minute segment that's going to air on TV. And they're producers. They're not shoppers. So they don't know, how this is all going to work. So the responsibility is on me to make the shopping trip work. Well, I am not going to be on national TV and have a shopping trip that I don't know exactly what the total is going to be at the register. So to me, the logical way to know this was put it on a spreadsheet, put my shopping list on a spreadsheet. So that way I could edit it on the fly through the grocery store. If they didn't have the quantity I expected, or if I found another deal that wasn't expected, I could edit it and know exactly what my total was going to be at the end. Just a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. So the total, my subtotal was a little over $1,300. And by the time we got finished with our coupons, the store owed me 31 cents. So the show aired. And so immediately the little blog that I had going and the Facebook following just blew up. I mean, absolutely exploded. Tens of thousands of people contacted me, messaged, what app were you using? What app was that? I need that app. Because they just saw that I had like an iPad walking through the store. So I was telling my husband about it. I was like, well, I'll put the spreadsheet on the website and let people download it. He's like, well, you should sell it. It's like, it's an Excel spreadsheet. No, it's just a few formulas I threw on there. It's not a big deal. He's like, well, then they can do their own. If you're going to put it on there, charge them for it. I really thought that was like the silliest idea in the world, to charge people for something that to me seems so simple. But, I guess maybe my entrepreneurial brain had not kicked in yet. So I prettied it up and made it look nice and, professional. Put it on the website, and he thought I should do $9.99. And I was like, that's just ridiculous. Nobody's going to pay $10 for that. So anyway, I reluctantly agreed to a $4.99 price tag, $5. And back and forth on my website, on the Facebook page, telling people when it's going to go live. And I swear to you, people must have been sitting there with their finger on the enter button on my website, ready to download this thing, because the moment it went live, thousands sold of this spreadsheet. And so blown away by this. And in the meantime, the TLC has already contacted me to be on the show again for season 2. Well, season 1 hasn't even aired yet, and they've already decided they want season 2 on. So we're already planning that. So now I'm like, okay, now she don't really get paid to be on the show. I'm like, the paycheck's going to come from, now I'm going to talk about my app walking through the store. I'm using my app. Anyway, so season 2, I'm doing that in the store, and I'm like, oh, I have my spreadsheet that's available on my website. So of course tons and tons of them, downloaded again. And it was funny because I had initially had like the PayPal ring sound on my phone every time a thing would hit. And you could tell when the show was rerun, because the phone would constantly go off, ding, 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 with the little cash. I had to turn the notifications off. So anyway, sounds really cool, and it was fun and it was exciting, but so much going on at that time in life. And one of the things was, wanting to open my own business, and didn't want to go into debt for it. And if you remember, the whole reason I was couponing is because things were really tight for us. Like, we actually had to. We were very paycheck to paycheck. 3 teenagers in the house, and just there was no extra. Like, how am I going to start a business? I don't have any money, and I don't want to go into debt to open something. I think it'll work. I mean, I had all this experience in the mattress business, and everybody that goes into business thinks they're going to work, but I'm also not stupid. I know a lot of small businesses fail. So anyway, the spreadsheet thing kind of funded the opening of the first big mattress outlet store. And that was a large part of why I was able to open and not have to go into debt. So yeah, who knew that couponing would lead to a mattress business that has since been wildly successful? That was 12 years ago.
Amazing story. 12 years ago. Do you still, do people come up to you every once in a while and say, are you Coupon Kelly? Do you get that
now and then? Yes. But more than that, I get messages online a lot. The funniest one was, actual life one, was sitting in a restaurant. It's been a few years ago now, but literally from half of the restaurant away, several tables away, I hear this, oh my God. voice. And I look over and the lady's pointing directly at me. She's like, "It's you. I know it's you. I recognized your voice. It is you from the stream couponing." Like the whole restaurant's like, "What is going on?" And my daughter's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh."
You got
Yeah,
fangirl.
I do get a lot of online messages.
I love that. Has anybody ever tried to come into a big mattress outlet with a coupon? Do you send out coupons for people? I guess
You know
you
what?
don't. It's
We
always
made that a part of our story because I'm a sucker for a deal. And my job at Simmons was, back when I was there as operations manager, was liquidating the closeout stuff, the, excess that the company had. So, that's kind of what our business model ended up being. So it's like we are a coupon, like Big Mattress Outlet is a mattress. Just by shopping with us, you kind of are shopping with a coupon. So we kind of made it part of our story is how much we love saving. So we want to allow our customers to save too.
and being the efficiency expert that you are with your spreadsheet and knowing exactly what's going to be the total you owe at the very end, you just saved everybody a step. Like, hey, I clipped for a long time. You don't even have to clip anymore.
Well, yeah,
No more
well, just come shop here. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so in the age of like online communities and all the different places that you can go to be a part of a niche group, you didn't keep the couponing thing alive, and I'm sure by now a ton has changed since
Sure
12
has.
years ago. You get
Sure
coupons on apps, and all the stores have their own app, and this, that, and the other. What was the moment when you decided to let the couponing thing go, even though it was throwing off a fair amount of cash?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, "Hey, I want to start my own business, and I want it to be the mattress business." And then you let the couponing side go.
Yeah, so great question because I'm sometimes think I'm Superwoman and can do everything, and your body tells you real quick that no, slow down a little bit. And so when I opened our first Big Mattress Outlet store in Rome, Georgia, I opened it by myself. So I didn't have any employees. We were closed on Sunday, so I was working 6 days a week, open to close, and I was still running a coupon gig on the side. And the coupon gig was I was teaching classes in the evenings and weekends. And then I had like a coupon subscription service, like people in rural areas of the country that didn't have access to these metro newspapers with nice thick inserts in them would actually subscribe to those inserts from me. And once a week they would get a package with with all the inserts for the week.
So you had
And
a hookup
so
behind the scenes. You were
I had a
figuring out a
hookup.
way to
I
get all the
did.
coupons?
Yeah. And I don't think they even do it like that anymore. So it probably doesn't matter anymore if I tell what my hookup was, but I had an inside source for sure at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that allowed me to get all these excess inserts. And sometimes I got the boxes of inserts, and sometimes they came as like entire newspapers. So I had to like pull the inserts out manually. And so I'd always told all the subscribers that the packages would go out by Tuesday of the week. So if I got everything on, Saturday evening or Sunday, that was great. But one particular week, I didn't get them until like Monday after work. So I had to drive to Atlanta after work, get them, and they were in the form of newspapers, not inserts. So I had thousands of these thick newspapers in the back of my truck. So I go to work Tuesday and I'm trying to pull inserts and it's raining outside. So like we have this recycle bin outside. So I'm sitting in the bed of the truck. I got this camper shell and I'm throwing away inserts. You can imagine or newspapers, you can imagine how black my hands are handling all these newspapers. And meanwhile, I'm trying to watch around the corner of the building. If I get a customer, I got to go in, but then I got filthy black hands. And the whole thing there was a moment of clarity where I said, why am I doing this, chasing these pennies when I could go inside and make dollars? And I just had a moment of clarity, and I finished up that day's subscription, sent them out to everybody who had paid for them. And that day they all got an email say, "We're shutting the coupon business down. Sorry." And I did no more. That was it that day.
Wow, that was it, huh? Coupon Kelly disappeared.
Yeah. What took the website down and everything, because it was time consuming just to answer questions to people who, still wanting advice or to book, classes, or, you still had to answer them even if it was with a no. So I just kind of shut everything down. Like now it's a story.
So when Coupon Kelly disappeared, who showed up? Who was the new you?
Oh gosh, we need to come up with a name for it. But I'm a mattress madam. I don't know. It's probably not a great name, but yeah, no, it's all mattress focused now.
Queen of the kings, fulls, twins, twin XLs, and queens.
Yes.
We're
Queen of
workshopping
queens,
that.
I don't know.
No, but as a business owner, as somebody who made that decision, who was the new you that showed up? Because that's a pretty defining moment when you're sitting there and it's raining and you're inside your camper shell, inside your truck, and you're trying to make this business work. And you're like, wait a minute, like each one of these things that I pull out represents pennies for my business. Whereas inside, the moment a customer walks in there, that represents hundreds of dollars potentially.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So to really answer that, let me back up just a little bit to the leaving Simmons Bedding Company to start the store, because I loved my job at Simmons. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing there. I loved the people I worked with. I liked what I did. But I just had this entrepreneurial spirit that needed to be satisfied. I wanted to be a business owner. And so part of what happened in that moment, yes, in growing the coupon business, that satisfied a little bit, scratched a little bit of that itch. But in realizing that this could be much bigger, if I would really now I would define it as 10xing my goal. That's not a term that I would have used back then because I, wasn't familiar with it. But now that's exactly what I was doing at that moment, was thinking, I'm thinking too small. And this could be a family business, which it turned into really quickly. Joe was able to leave a job that he worked for Ford and loved playing with cars, and he was able to leave and join me. And so together we've grown it and, opened more stores. But to answer your question, it was the new mentality became how to grow this. What's the most efficient focus, the most efficient use of my time? 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So where's my 20%? What am I doing that's going to be the most effective? I didn't want to be, I wasn't old or anything. I'm be 50 this year. So I got a lot of years left, but I also recognized at that point in my late 30s that I'm like, if this takes several years to build, I want to grow something. I don't want to do that at 50, 60 years old. Let's do it now.
So what did you do? Like right out of the gates, you made that decision. You had clarity. Clarity creates energy. Where were you putting that energy? What were you doing to make those inflection points in your business after that?
A lot in the store itself changed. I mean, to begin with, I was still thinking too small, I'll admit, because I'd never been in this position before. It seemed like a big decision to bring a new line of mattresses in the store. That seemed like the biggest decision I could take on, and opening a second location was just, that seemed too big to tackle. But, a good friend of mine just said a while back that courage or confidence comes after success. It probably took having a little bit of success, having the store, to suddenly realize I can do this. I can do this. Why am I afraid? Because I was afraid to jump ship at Simmons. I did it and pushed myself through it. But when I had the breakthrough of, holy cow, this is going to work. Like, this is going to work. This is going to be the family business. We've replaced both our incomes and then some. This is going to work. So then it was the focus on how to be better. And, what a constant, how to be different, because I want to say at the same time, and a lot, probably folks that are listening to this can relate, that some of what our mattress industry has become in some areas is something that we don't like. Some customers feel like it's a little bit of a used car salesman type approach when they go in a mattress store. And so from day one, we wanted to fight that. We wanted to be different. So we had to figure out ways to offer a different product and different service. So I started thinking bigger, and granted at the time, 12 years ago, that was just in one little store, but it was the mental approach. And now, gosh, looking back now, I'm just like, why didn't we make so many decisions so much faster? And we'd labor over the decision to open another store for like 2 years. And now I'm just like, just go open it already.
Yeah.
The decisions still feel so big in the moment.
Yeah. And they do, and that's the journey that, entrepreneurs are on, because even if there happen to be a playbook out there, it doesn't check all the boxes or fit all the conditions that you're facing. And by the way, I need to backtrack just a little bit. So obviously, if you're hopping in here on the show, we're talking to the artist formerly known as Coupon Kelly, Kelly Charles, CEO of Big Mattress Outlet. Kelly, I didn't set the stage for how many stores you have, where you're located. Paint that picture for everybody so they know.
We have 3 stores that we own right now in Northwest Georgia. So we live in a little town called Adairsville, Georgia, and our stores are in Rome, Cartersville, Calhoun. And we stopped at 3 locations because we had 3 teenagers at home. And so the path forward, any way that we thought of it was going to take more of our time and effort. And to be honest with you, we were really stinking spoiled with our 3-store lifestyle and being able to attend the kids' ball games and events and just, have the family life that really was what we were working for in the first place. But we did say after the youngest graduates college, we're going to focus on expansion, just full steam ahead. Well, the youngest graduated college this past year. So here we are, full steam ahead. So now, then the path was, well, do we open more stores that we own, or do we franchise? I mean, what does the landscape look like? And at the same time, I'm going to thank you for your part in this, because as we were thinking through this, you were kind enough to invite me to Dream Camp, where I met Jason Friedman. And a lot of what we talked about at Dream Camp last year was exactly what I needed to hear to make the decision on what was best for us. So, that was April of last year. I came home and told Joe wasn't able to go to Dream Camp. I came home and told him, I said, all right, baby, we're franchising. He's like, I thought there was going to be more of a conversation surrounding this. Somehow I felt like we would actually talk it through. So this is us talking it through. This is what we're doing. But Joe he's the perfect partner, and he's fully on board, and he's very supportive. And, he plays the largest part in managing the corporate stores that we have, while I've focused on this franchising venture, which has been super exciting and rewarding. And I think we will have a very exciting announcement to make in the next week or so. I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, make sure.
Franchising is going places.
Awesome. I love that. Let's go back to Dream Camp Key West, which was April of 2023.
Yeah.
And I remember, for those who don't know, Dream Camp is an invitation only retreat for sleep and mattress industry professionals. And then if you have been to a Dream Camp, you can nominate people. And so I invited you because I was like, Kelly's the perfect type of person, just based on who I could see that you were, how incredible you were at business, how just like gritty and scrappy you got with like making your couponing business work. And I'm like, she's going to infuse like all the energy that the FAM and Dream Camp stands for. So I was so happy that you came. And then Jason and Drew were our guides in residence. So at Dream Camp, we don't have somebody come in and speak and then leave. We have our guides in residence. So somebody that's world-class at something. Jason and Drew had built a business to 150 million in sales and sold it. So they came in as our guides in residence. They spent the entire time with us. And I remember Jason pulled me aside and he goes, hey, I think I need to adjust my speech for day 2. And it was like, or maybe for the afternoon or the second part of day 1, he said, I need to focus on the shifts to massive growth. So I know that we got into that piece of it, but as you were reflecting on your notes in that week in particular, what was the light bulb moment for you?
There was one particular moment, and there was a lot, but if I were to narrow it down to one moment, I've always felt a heavy responsibility as a business owner to show our team that I was willing to do anything I asked them to do. I was never better than or above, or I wanted to show that I was a part of the team, not just be the boss and boss everybody around. But to that end, sometimes I was getting tied down doing the mundane day-to-day things because I didn't want to step away and be in an office while they had to do the day-to-day things. So one of the questions I posed sort of in the moment was, I want to grow. Like in my mind, I'm there, but there's only one of me. How do I don't want to give the message to my team. How do I transform into a leader from working with them without it being, okay, I'm above them. I wasn't familiar with how to make that transition. Not something I'd had to do before. And Jason said, what if by not growing your business, you're actually holding them back because now they can't grow? And that was the aha moment for me, that I was actually doing them a disservice by not stepping out and growing, giving them something to grow into. And so there were a lot of moments, but that's the one that stood out in my mind that just kind of gave me it was like a springboard. It just kind of launched my thought process to a whole new level. And, it's such a simple concept. Isn't it crazy how the simplest concepts are the most profound sometimes? And then you feel silly. It's like, why didn't I think of that? That seems so simple. But looking back through time, the moments that made a difference and made an impact are always these things that, in hindsight are relatively simple.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard something similar from people. The right message hit them at the right time.
Yeah.
Something maybe I knew, I'd heard it before. That's why a lot of times when we get groups together, these groups, whether it's the Dream Camp group or the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind or Sleep Summit or one of the virtual things we do behind the scenes, it's like, just if you've heard this before, it's okay. Let it wash over you. Just be with it. And maybe you're going to hear it again in a new way. The old saying was, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So these lessons may be being taught all the time, but you're not going to hear them until you, the student, are ready. It sounds like you were ready.
Yeah, it totally was. And fear is such a big factor too. As growing to, it was one thing to leave a corporate job and start a business by myself. If I failed, it was our household that was affected for sure. But Joe still had a good job, and I knew I could go back out in the workforce. It wasn't affecting anybody else. But then when you grow and you've got a team and they rely on you to make sound decisions, despite whatever the economy is doing, to me, it's a lot more. There's a lot more fear involved in making big decisions. There's a lot more. You really feel attached to the status quo that has got you where you are. And because I don't want to affect their jobs. I don't want to do anything that's going to, cause any discomfort to our team. So in franchising, I mean, we're not at, our economy, as we all know, is not the best that the mattress industry has ever seen. But I react to it differently now after having a measure of success over the years. Now I look at it like challenge accepted, bring it. This will give you the needed change, because sometimes when things are going really, really well, business kind of stumbles in the door just by default, and you can get a little complacent, and there may be areas of your business that you needed to work on, but you don't realize that because business is coming easy. But when things slow down a little bit and you're having to work for it, what it really does is highlight, double red underlined, as my friend Mark Kinsley would say, the areas where you need to improve become really obvious. And to me, it's almost exciting just because it clarifies to me the things that we need to do as an organization to be as perfect as we can. And I love it because I love change. I love the excitement of bringing something new in and trying something new and seeing how it works. The feeling with franchising, it's the decisions we make are a little more monumental now because I'm affecting future entrepreneurs as well. So I have to be absolutely certain. We're not just testing something just to see how it works. We need to be sure that the decisions we make are sound and they set up our franchisees for success from day one. And we're partnering with the right people who, kind of fit our culture. So I heard something, this was really cool, that if you build the right culture, you'll attract the right people. We focus so much at Big Mattress Outlet on the culture. That's probably the meat of our conversation in our weekly meetings with our team more than anything is the culture that the customers are met even when they walk in a store. It's one thing for us to talk about it behind the scenes, but they can feel it when they walk in. What's the culture like? What does it feel like? Because we don't want to talk that. We want to live it and be sure that's obvious. And, hopefully that attracts the right customers, attracts the right entrepreneurs. And it feels good.
What are some of the things you do? I remember my friend, Dr. V from Miss Kelly's, he told me one time that culture is what you create or what you tolerate.
Yeah.
And in creating the Big Mattress Outlet culture, what are some of the things that stand out to you about the culture? Like the signals you send off that says this is who we are, the things you do that send off signals that say this is who we are.
So probably our number one thing is a culture of empathy, certainly with one another, but ultimately our customer that walks in the store is why we're all here. So that's our number one focus. And everybody says they focus on their customers. So just saying that is nothing unusual. But going through the Kinetic Customer Formula workshop with Drew and Jason opened our eyes to another level of customer service. Mm-hmm. And another ability that we probably were able to tap into to help customers from a standpoint that speaks to them in a way that they don't get anywhere else when they go in a store. And you can't encapsulate that in one conversation here, but it really is a lesson in empathy where when people come in, you're connecting with them on another level rather than salesperson client level. One of the things we've really tried to focus on sleep so that we can tap into the emotional response that customers have to sleep, because they think that a mattress is a commodity and that they're coming in to buy something that's probably not even going to be the most fun purchase of the year for them. But they're passionate about buying a mattress. They don't know it, but they are, because who likes getting woke up by a fire alarm at 3 a.m? We're passionate about our sleep. We don't like getting woke up. You wake up grouchy if you don't get enough sleep. People love their sleep. So if you tap into that emotion and that passion with them, then you can really help them actually sleep better and pay attention to what's going to be the best sleep system for them. And, the end result is just you gain clients for life, you gain referrals. But that's kind of the culture that we try to manifest to our customers. Internally, we have a culture of accountability. So we have specific programs in place because, we can talk all day about the value of taking care of customers and how great these ideas are, and the podium follow-ups and the gifts after purchase and all of the things that you might throw out there as cool things to do. But on a day-to-day basis, it can get mundane when that's your job. So we kind of hold one another accountable, and we've got systems in place to be sure that we're cheering one another on through the successes. We have a constant little competitions going between them so that everybody gets cheered on and recognized for every single little thing they do that contributes to that culture. But then privately, there's that accountability if a step is not met. And it's just, hate to say those opportunities. People don't like that word, but they exist. We're human. We don't do everything just right. Lord knows I don't. That's the worst, is when we put these programs in place and then I'm the first one to miss one. And they're like, "So Kelly, did you text that customer?"
Hey, that's the ultimate teamwork right there, is whenever people at whatever different job are noticing things and holding each other accountable in a positive way that's collegial and filled with camaraderie. That's the best. Like, man, I screwed that one up. Thank you for making sure I didn't miss it, because this is what we want to do to make sure that our customers are taken care of and that we're playing as one team. Yeah,
that's really the meat of it, is that if we celebrate the successes, then people start looking for those celebrations. Every time a customer leaves us a good Google review, in the group employee message platform, all employees, the entire team gets so-and-so got a 5-star review this morning on Google or on recommendation on Facebook or whatever. Anytime some of these metrics that we really push are achieved, everybody gets recognized. So they start looking for that. And if it's been several days since somebody got a shout out on the group message, it's like, man, I got to get one of those.
Yeah. And, people, and this came from Friedman, he was saying that people do what they are rewarded and recognized for.
Yes.
And I think those two words, how do we reward and how do we recognize, can go a long way in being the piece that creates the culture you want. You just, as a business owner, have to decide, what is it we're going to reward for? What is it we're going to recognize? And then keep doing it. Like you said, they're going to start looking for those wins.
True. And what's amazing is that you can work that into your customer culture as well. Let the customer be the hero in their story rather than always being sold to and you being the expert. You can work that into how you approach the customer so that they don't feel like they're being sold to, but they feel like they are solving their own problems, that they're being smart. All of our managers now are certified sleep coaches. So we really want to not just say that we talk about sleep. We want to actually be educated and put our team in a position where they can have intelligent conversations with customers about their sleep habits. And when you really praise a customer for their effort to focus on better health, to be a better version of themselves through better sleep, it's amazing the transformation that you get from customers not feeling like they're being sold. And we really are helping them. I mean, this is fun for us too. It's not just a business strategy. It's like, we actually like doing this. It's amazing that we're kind of making a living doing it. It's really cool. We enjoy this.
Well, you can tell you enjoy it, both you and Joe and your team members. And I've really enjoyed getting to know you, both of you, getting to talk to you today and hear more about your story. And congratulations on all the success that you've had. I know there's so much more in the windshield than the rear view for both you and Joe and Big Mattress Outlet. And if somebody's interested in getting in touch with you, probably don't go down the Coupon Kelly road, although that's probably all over the internet. How do they get in touch with you?
Probably going to get some expired results there. No, my email is Kelly with a Y, Kelly at bigmattressoutlet.com. I always welcome conversations. And I just, I enjoy talking to people and getting to know people. The community that you've put together with the fam has been the most profound thing that I've been a part of. I'm in my 25th year in the mattress business. I know I don't look a day over 26, but still.
Started real young.
Yeah. But it has been so cool connecting with people that are like-minded and being able to have open conversations and productive conversations and make one another better. Sometimes as an entrepreneur in your field, you're a little guarded because what you've done that has made you a success, you really don't want to share that with anybody else. But also we all feel vulnerable. I mean, we all feel a responsibility to ourselves to continue the success, but to our team to make the right decisions, and we recognize that we're human and that we're frail and we make mistakes. And so, what if this decision I'm making is a mistake? I mean, you second guess everything. So when you have a team of people or group of people that become true friends that are like a soundboard and you can discuss things and you really get such great ideas without the spirit of competition in the mix. It's been like, I say life-changing, but from a business standpoint, this little tribe that you've put together, I can't thank you enough for how that has changed mine and Joe's ability to be good business owners and be leaders. I think that's given us I feel like we got a leg up on the competition now, just being a part of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I may have put some of this in motion, but to see people come to life in all these new ways, both personally and professionally, has just been the greatest joy for me. I mean, we launched the Mattress Mentorship Mastermind at Sleep Summit last year, and we opened that up, and 31 people signed up and said, I'm in. And it was, to me, the caliber of people that joined the group is unlike anything I've seen. And it was fascinating because you have a range of different businesses some of them are 30, $40 million operations, and they're still investing in their team and in themselves to learn and grow. And I think probably the thing that made me the most inspired and the saddest at the same time was I heard somebody that had they're part of the group, and they said, I've been in this industry for 27 years and I had contacts, but no community. This is the first time I feel like I'm truly part of something.
I can relate to that. I truly can. And, the mastermind thing, I joined, as you know, and it was a little scary. I've never been a part of a mastermind before. I didn't know what to expect. I felt like my plate was already, running over. Like, how do I make time for an extra thing? And, I knew it was something we needed to be committed to really get the full result out of it. You don't just join and then, show up kind of half-heartedly. You need to really, put your heart into the group and participating, which takes time and effort, which is something that all of us business owners don't feel like we have any extra of. But I got to tell you that Joe and I sat at Sleep Summit when that announcement was made, and there wasn't a moment's hesitation. We looked at each other, and we both were thinking we should do this, but, feeling the need to check with the other. And we looked at each other and said, I don't know. Do you think we should? And he's like, I don't see how we can't. As much benefit as we've gotten from being a part of everything the fam has done up to this point, how can we not take advantage of this opportunity that's fallen in our lap? So no regrets. It has been absolutely worth every bit of effort that was put into it.
This is the highlight of my day. And I tell you, we talk about scratching our own itches, like making something that you truly want. One of the biggest rubs for me in this industry was we go to these events, but then we walk away and we don't have any connective tissue. There wasn't that deep sense of community that I was after. And I would I was peppered with all these amazing people. And I'd see them over here at this conference or at this different thing or
Yep.
at a market or wherever it might be. And then we would accordion out and everybody would go their separate ways and there was no consistent connectivity there. I'm like, what would happen if you continue to bring the right singers together to get in this chorus? What happens if this choir starts growing and singing from the same hymnal? We're going to make a dent in the industry. It might even make the industry the exact one that we want over time. And plus you get to do it living a life with some really amazing people and learning from others that are at different points in their journey. And I know you and Joe have contributed so much to people and are just, you have a lot of admirers out there. I'll put it that way.
Well, I admire a lot of people out there too. I love the analogy that you make of music and a band, because I know you're a musician. I'm a musician. We've both played with bands and with other talented musicians, and I've never ceased to have been amazed by how much better the collective group is than the single. You get with other talented musicians and the end product, it is so much better. You improve one another. You make one another sound good. If you've ever played with someone that you just really connect with in a band, you can read off of one another. You know what's coming next. You know when to give the lead. You know when to take the lead. You know when to make somebody else sound good in the moment. Those moments can't be described unless you've had a part of it. And that's kind of what we've got going with this little, I keep calling it this tribe of people that you've put together. But, without being a part of it, it'd be hard to explain to somebody else the value of what's coming out of it, the song, if you will. But I really think we have the ability to change the industry. I truly do. That sounded big and bold when we first said it, or when I first heard you say it. I'm just saying we now. I'm just a part of it. It's me too. But I really think we can. I truly do.
I think it's happening. And I think a lot of it comes down to what you just said. We just continue to show up because transformation happens during immersion. I really believe that. Like you got to be there in person. You got to consistently connect with the people that you're trying to make a change with. And along the way, you're going to get personal benefits. You're going to give to other people and it's going to elevate them. And then also we're creating this movement, I feel like, in the industry to make it the one that we want. And it's one that is built on a foundation of better sleep and how life-changing it can be, and how many people live their whole life or most of their life on a terrible mattress, and they get that great mattress and all of a sudden they light up, everything changes for them. Those are the moments that we need to continue to focus on, because we as an industry are changing people's lives. And if you're focused on, just making a buck, you wouldn't fit into the fam. You'll see the people. No. But if you feel like you're a little bit alone out here and you're this person that understands that mission, embraces that, is like doing things for your community, is helping your team get better, and you want to get better, and you feel a little isolated, you should really like join the fam. Like go to fam.news, like check out Dream Camp, check out Sleep Summit, call Kelly.
Call me. Yep. Happy to get my phone number out and talk to anybody. And even if you just, if you're in the mattress industry and you just, you feel like there's something you've seen that is a piece of advice that we could use in our business, I'm all ears. Or if there's something that you feel like maybe we've been through in our growth that you'd like to hear, then Lord knows I know how to talk. I can do that.
Well, you do know how to talk. You know how to share a really amazing story. So thank you for taking us down the memory lane of being.
Thanks for letting me.
Coupon Kelly, the star of TLC's Extreme Couponing, to now the CEO of Big Mattress Outlet, which is beginning this amazing adventure to franchise. And anybody that wants to, I know you're willing to share about the business and help people learn about the business. And maybe next time we talk here on the podcast, so I have to have you come back. We can start talking about all these franchisees that you've signed up and explore the latest and greatest as your story continues to unfold.
You got it. It's a deal. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. And hey, be sure to subscribe if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or if you're over on the YouTube channel, you're seeing me and Kelly right now, or on the website. Be sure to subscribe, share this with somebody, maybe somebody in the industry, a colleague, a friend, and hit up Kelly. Let her know that you listen. And we'll see you back here next week, every Monday, right here on the Fan Podcast.